In this video, we're in Växjö, Sweden. Växjö is known as the greenest city in Europe, and it's a pretty amazing place. We talk about things a little differently than we do. But as you'll see here, one of the presentations that we saw, the gentleman explained that they really focus on reducing their carbon footprint, but at the same time, improving the opportunities for business. And they talk about the percentage of carbon emissions that are reduced, while at the same time the percentage of revenues that have increased for their business community. It's quite an inspiring way to look at things, and I think we should all strive to look at things in a new way and look at the circular economy as a way of really improving things. So enjoy this video, and thanks for watching.
He wanted to make a radio show from the greenest city of Europe, but he didn't know where to go. So he asked the organization eClay, and eClay is an organization for cities around the world working with sustainability issues. And they said, you should go to Växjö. A lot of things are happening there. And you should also know that the European Secretariat made his show on British radio talking about Växjö being the greenest city in Europe. And then, during that year, a lot of journalists came here. From newspapers, from TV, from radios, all over the world. And we were named the greenest city in Europe in at least 500 articles all around the world that year. So our politicians said, okay, everyone else calls us, and why shouldn't we do that too? So we have a big influence, we're a big purchaser. So the kinds of requirements and demands we set on the providers of the food, of course, have a big influence. We get questions from building construction companies saying that, okay, we have a very interesting sustainability concept. Do you have any places where we could build that, so we can have our demonstration facility here, so we can show it to the world? And that is quite amazing. We have, for instance, one company that has developed their own certification called the dark green, when they have the most sustainable buildings. They have 5 sites in Sweden of those dark sites, dark green projects. 2 of them are in Växjö. And that is, that is fantastic, because it means also that they can showcase this here, demonstrate, they can try, see what's working, and then they can sell that in other cities as well.
We are Uptic, and we will do a presentation about 30 minutes about what Uptic is, and shortly about the project that you will visit. We work 50-50 between IKEA, I think you all know IKEA, and Skanska. Do you know Skanska?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, great. And Skanska is actually the part that owns all the construction and the product development, but on the immaterial level, when it comes to brand and owning the franchise and so on, it's and since then we have built about 12,000 homes, 10,000 of them in Sweden approximately. So Sweden has been and is by far our biggest market, differently. And that sort of took as an idea in both Skanska and IKEA. And a couple of years later, it was decided to start a company together, Uptic, back in '96. And at that point, they started it a bit differently, right from the beginning, because it was 3 women who started the company Uptic, actually. 2 of them you see on the picture here. It's an interior decorator from IKEA. It was a project developer from Skanska, and it was an architect. So these 3 women started Uptic. The founder and creator of IKEA, the guy to the right, and Melker Schörling, the guy to the left, who was the president of Skanska, came together and proclaimed what has been a sort of a motto for us since then. Everyone should have a good chance to have a great head. We build nowadays around 1,200 homes in Sweden, and we only exist in Sweden and the capital areas of Norway and Finland. So 1,200 homes in Sweden, approximately 100-150 a year in Norway and Finland.
Now here you see the Bukluk housing units that the gentleman was talking about. Pretty amazing use of space. They've got a bunch of different types of layouts, and each one's geared toward a certain demographic in their community. And they come up with their affordability index by figuring out what's left at the end of the month when you factor in all the expenses and you don't figure in housing. That's how they determine how they're going to cost these apartments and homes. And this is a really good example of simple Scandinavian design done in a really
The shower integrated in.
affordable way for people in these communities.
No, they're all like that, and in Finland too.
Looking at the pictures, they had one that was like a master suite.
Maybe one of the bigger units.
Yeah.
This is as big as a typical bedroom is in any apartment.
Are you talking in all of Sweden or just in your?
No, when it comes to single family homes.
Here's an example of a common utility space between the units. Everything's very compact and well designed. We wrapped up this day by visiting the modern wooden city in Växjö. It was quite interesting, and we got to see some buildings that have been in place for a long time, some current construction, as you see here, and you can tell the siding can be almost anything. And following that visit, we went to visit a biomass to energy plant. It was very interesting to see how they talked about it in terms of the circular economy, using all the materials, and the byproduct of one company becomes the core product of another, so on and so forth until they complete the circle. It was a fascinating look at how they were using woody biomass to create the energy for their communities. They were using the wood for their housing, so on and so forth. And it was refreshing to see how they look at fixing the environment while at the same time benefiting their economy.